Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Happiness from Within. So excited to bring you guys this interview. Today's guest is Aleali May, an incredible young woman full of passion, determination, and dedication to making her dreams come true. Aleali is the second woman to collaborate with Michael Jordan and have her name on the Jordan 1 silhouette. She's also a model and influencer for Nike. She has styled big names such as Kendrick Lamar, Khalifa, Jaden Smith, and 21 Savage. In today's inspirational episode, we dive deep into where it first started during her childhood, growing up shy, no confidence, didn't feel complete inside, how she started to find ways to express herself, and how she was introduced to Buddhism and how that changed her life. So I just really encourage you to sit back, relax, grab your favorite green smoothie, maybe a cup of coffee or tea, and enjoy. I'll catch you in the episode. So if you can please start by introducing yourself, your name, your age, and where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Aleali May. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I am 26 years old.
Beautiful. Now, what is your passion?
My passion is fashion. So it's like the umbrella of fashion. So I love modeling, I love styling, and, I just really like being immersed in it because it's just something that I always love to do, and now to have it as a job, it doesn't even feel like a job.
That's incredible. So let's go ahead and start from your childhood. What was it like growing up in the South LA area?
It's so immersed in culture. As far as streetwear, sports, hip hop, this is a place where I grew up, and the first time I'm seeing, everything in the world, and really just kind of gaining a sense of self. And, I always felt like an outcast because, I wasn't your average girl. I didn't want to wear a dress. I didn't want to wear, heels or anything. I wanted to be sneakers. I wanted to be in all Nike or all Jordan. I wanted to do whatever my dad and my older uncle was doing. He was in high school at the time, which was a big influence on my personal style. And, when I would just go to school, I would get bullied by other girls, and, it would make me feel, every type of way and seeming like, I can't do things or I'm not accepted by others. And because, this is the way that I want to be. And so it was hard. And also, I was just a really small girl, accepting that, wow, on the times when you're developing as a woman and you're just very small frame still, and the idea that we have of women is curvy body, and I didn't have any of that, so I was very insecure, just kind of sad, but I still wanted to dress the way that I wanted to dress. But yeah, it's actually, taught me to also embrace, who I was too, and I learned a lot about embracing my own aspects of myself, through chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, which I didn't come across until almost 5 years ago.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about that. So in the last 4 years, you were introduced to Buddhism. Can you expand on that and what type of Buddhism you practice and how your journey began?
I had moved back to California. I did 3 years in Chicago. I was going to college, and then, everything in my body was just telling me that I needed to be home. And it was just as simple as I started getting insomnia. I was just I just had withdrawals from being home. And when I would come and visit on holidays, it was immediately just a ray of sunshine. I felt so much better, and I couldn't tell why. And I was just I need to go back to LA for some reason. And my mom was like, you have 1 more year left of college. And I was just I don't know, but first of all, I want to sleep, okay? And second of all, I don't know what it is. I just feel, the same feeling I felt to move to Chicago was kind of that same gut feeling that I needed to go back home to LA. And as soon as I moved back to LA, I had my own apartment, and it was the first one, and it was a lot of space for me, so I was a little scared. I grew up Catholic. I was never baptized, but I went to Catholic school, and my family was also Catholic. I feel that it's based kind of a lot on fear, And that's actually what it was. I was scared of The Exorcism of Emily Rose, a scary movie that, of course, me believing in being Catholic, I'm like, that was always one of my fears as a little girl. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get possessed. Something that sounds so crazy, but obviously as you're a little girl, it's so big, right? So I saw this movie knowing that I don't like scary movies, but it really scared me to the point where I couldn't sleep in my apartment. And I was like, you should chant. And I was just like, what's that? And then she was like, oh, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And, she was telling me, it's all about bringing out your inner Buddhahood. And it's all about, facing your fears and saying, like, I can defeat the situation. I could sleep in my own apartment and be completely comfortable. And so as soon as I tried it, not only did I feel better, but I felt so drawn to, like, the sound and the way that it made me feel on the inside, like even just like the vibration of it. And I was like, wow, whatever this is, I love it. Like, I love it. Off of first sight, I was like, I love this. How can I, find out more? And then we actually started chanting together in my apartment just to create, the vibes. And from there on, I just took it and ran with it.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that you prayed for three things. You prayed for clarity, confidence, and Air Jordans. You wanted to collaborate with Michael Jordan. So you were very clear on what you wanted.
Yes. Well, a part of, learn later a little bit when I started is that, write down whatever your goals and dreams are. Even if they seem out of the universe and untouchable and something that's so far away, like, still write it down. So, of course, like, you're nervous because you want it to happen, but you're scared, what if it doesn't? And, all these doubts come up. And so, yeah, I wrote those things down. And obviously, when it comes to working on myself, that takes time for sure. I'm still working on that today. One of the amazing things is, I was able to my dreams, and that is to have a collaboration with Michael Jordan.
Wow, that's amazing. So for people that are listening, can you talk a little bit about the Buddhism that you practice? And I think a lot of people listening don't know what Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is, and maybe start with what is the meaning of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo?
It's all about bringing out your inner Buddhahood, right? And every one of us is a Buddha. So, when we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, we are basically bringing all of that from inside out, because we learn that, when you change, your environment changes, and also everything starts from within, and nothing exists outside of you as well. So, if you're looking for that confidence, it exists inside of you. It's like, how can we bring that up? And, through our efforts and through us fighting to achieve confidence or, a Jordan 1, we will come across obstacles that are going to test, how hard are you willing to work for your own happiness? And through chanting, you are basically saying, I'm going to go undefeated today, and I'm going to channel all this energy and not only encourage myself, but also encourage the person next to me. And one person is so important. Our president, President Daisaku Ikeda talks about that a lot. And also the power of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It started in 12th century Japan by Nichiren Daishonin, which came across Shakyamuni. So Shakyamuni is the original Buddha, which a lot of us have seen pictures or statues of. And basically, he found that this is the highest teaching. Nichiren found that Shakyamuni preached the highest teaching, but he was never able to put it into the phrase Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So he went on preaching about, how to reach your high, chanting through, his earnest determination. And it started in Japan originally 2,500 years ago in India.
Wow.
But now it's 12 million people who practice Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism, and we are part of the Soka Gakkai in society. You know, honestly, ever since I walked into the SGI, I just felt like I was home. It felt like everyone was embracing everyone's struggle and there to help you. And with that, I've been able to look at the world in a different view and be able to tackle, you know, so many things.
Wow, that's really incredible. Thank you for sharing that. So the Soka Gakkai International recently had a festival, the Lions of Justice, last month. Can you talk about that and the significance behind that and, you know, just what it means to you, but, you know, what they're trying to create in regards to value creation society? And
this is all about setting a determination, because we had about a year to basically create this festival that happened September 23rd, and it's to gather and usher in a new era for youth, for hope, justice, peace, everything that the world needs right now. We need to be able to initiate that, because the youth, we're the ones who are next. We're the ones who are going to be telling our children or the next generation to come to really break through all of these molds of what the world has been about for, you know, whether it's politics, whether it's fashion, whether it's, you know, just always breaking down these barriers and bringing us all together and saying we're all equal, we're all able to reach our highest potential. So not only were there SGI members that were present, but there were many guests. I actually brought about 7 friends to the festival. And it was a celebration. It was a celebration for youth. There were Herbie Hancock performed. We had videos from Michelle Obama to Orlando Bloom. It was amazing to see, you know, 50,000 people from 8 different cities gather in one place around these cities to help give us that push that we needed.
Wow, that's amazing. I also heard it's also to helping young people to stand up loudly, to proclaim and to actualize their unlimited hope for the future. Would you agree?
Yes, for sure. That day I actually work. So I'm a part of a young women's division at the Soka Gakkai, and it is a volunteer group where, you know, we work at the center or wherever we're supposed to be stationed, and really working towards breaking through, you know, all the things that we are trying to overcome. And by doing that and putting our effort in the SGI, for me, has been the most rewarding place. It's taught me so much, and we actually worked our volunteer shifts on that day. So I was helping, you know, bring in people to help sit them down and, you know, make sure that everyone's good and there was no accidents. And I really felt like I achieved so much and just, you know, made the cause and the effect at the same time, you know.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So when you started your journey on social media, you had basically started on Tumblr, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you expand a little bit on that? Basically, you started showcasing your styles on social media, and people were like, who is this girl that likes to mix high-end with streetwear?
You know, I kind of always have been myself when it came to dressing, and I felt like I was also a very shy girl, so I felt like if my outfit can talk, I didn't have to talk. But, you know, for the same thing,
wow.
with my Tumblr too, I would post my inspirations, and then when I moved to Chicago, I was just like, wow, like, all my friends are cool, my life is cool, let me take pictures of all the fashion, you know, and that's when I really started gaining recognition. You know, who is this girl? She's in Chicago, she works at this cool store, and she has a cool style. You know, I just really wanted to showcase, like, oh, I'm this type of girl that likes to wear sneakers more than she likes to wear heels. This is where we're going today. We're going to this museum. Just trying to, you know, like, educate people that there are girls that are different out here. And then it moved over to Instagram, so Instagram started, and a lot of my following from Tumblr followed me to Instagram. And since then, you know, it definitely more followers as my project out. But yeah, that's how we started.
That's amazing. And you've styled Kendrick Lamar Wes Khalifa, Jaden Smith, and 21 Savage. So basically the eyes of the Jordan brand.
Yes. So I've styled many hip-hop artists as well as working with brands such as Jordan Brand. So not only do I design for Jordan Brand, but I also do style sometimes their photo shoots. I always used to wear Jordans since I was little, so seeing them give back is also just super cool. And, you know, to someone who has been a fan of the line since, you know, I was born, because it happened before me. But it's really cool styling, and I feel like just like myself, I'm able to bring out someone else's character into the clothes if they don't want to speak, or if they do want to speak. So yeah, that's always been fun projects for sure.
That's amazing. I also like your experience about how when you were in high school, you were a hula dancer and you had to wear a coconut bra and a grass skirt. And how through this experience, you had mentioned that you were using it to overcome your body image. Can you expand a little bit on that? Maybe for a young person out there, maybe, you know, how you can encourage them of through activity of how they can gain confidence or start taking steps to improve their body image. Can you expand on that?
So I was in high school, and my dad's best friends were mostly Polynesian, where we were, which was in Colorado. And I was always hanging out with them, and of course, like, what they want to do, I wanted to do. But the crazy part is when I started hula dancing, you know, usually you stay in beginner's course for about a year or two, but I was moving so fast that I was like advancing, so I was practicing with the big girls. And the big girls, their costumes aren't as PG-13. Instead of a dress, we would have to wear, you know, the traditional coconut bra with grass skirt, shells around your neck, and a headdress. So the first time where I tried on, first of all, I was so excited, but when I tried on the coconut bra, I mean, I started crying so much, and everyone was like, Aleali, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? And I was just like, I'm scared because I'm skinny and I don't feel like, you know, I'll be made fun of. You know, all the guys, as soon as I walk out there that are in the group, they're going to laugh at me too, because all they see me as like this tomboy, you know, and here I come out with a grass skirt. You know, I was just like really nervous, and that is actually one of the first places that I realized that like having dialogue with other women and having a great group of friends, you know, could really push you out of your insecurities. So, you know, they were like, no, Aleali, like, you look so good. Like, you know, you've earned your spot. No one has ever advanced this quickly. And it's crazy because I really did love like the meaning behind every dance that we did from different favorite songs, so like why not be happy about the moment, you know? So the more that I started hula dancing, the more that I started becoming confident in my body, and that was also around the same time where my stepmom started buying me Teen Vogue magazines, and I would look through the pages and I was like, wow, like this girl looks like me. I mean, I may not be as tall, but, you know, this girl looks like me, and I can do this, and I can do, and there's so many looks. And so I really started embracing who I was. My first 2 years of high school, all I wore was like basketball shorts and big jackets. And then my junior year, I was pretty fed up. I was like, I want to be who I want to be. So my stepmom took me to Forever 21. She took me to Wet Seal. We bought a bunch of like skinny jeans and very like form-fitting clothes. And it's funny because my senior year, I actually won Best Dress.
Wow. Love it. Wow.
Like, I think sometimes when we can't get ourselves out of it, I think it's really great to just surround yourself around a great group of people. And, you know, the SGI has taught me a lot, especially with doing my behind the scenes group with other young women, and as well as, you know, times before in those times, there's always been one friend to help me and to encourage me and, you know, to see the value in myself too. So I think that's really important.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you're the second woman to collaborate with Michael Jordan, and you had this really amazing, surreal moment in your life where basically everyone around the world came to see this shoe. Can you talk about that experience and how it changed your life?
Yeah, that experience definitely changed my life. So 4 years later, after I wrote down that I wanted a Jordan 1 silhouette shoe, that dream came true. And at the time when I wrote it down, I didn't have a relationship with the Jordan brand. This is something that naturally came through time of, me always showing my love for Jordans and, them recognizing it. And, fast forward to piece of my Jordans in Los Angeles and worldwide. So it sold out the day of release, which was...
Wow.
I can't even fathom how it feels, and up until this day either, because, I never thought that, first of all, I would have my own Jordan. So one of the most popular shoes in a neighborhood that I grew up in. And also, many LA wears Jordans too. So, it's like, wow, like we were really able to accomplish this. And, not only for just my city, but as also for women, we hadn't had a Jordan release in about 7 years. Mm-hmm. So this was the first in, almost a decade. And that also is just showing, this is a time for improvement for all of us, for the culture, to really encourage other women that, they can make it in a men's dominated society. And, I couldn't, it was surreal. I couldn't understand what was happening. I loved every bit of it. My family was there. My friends were there. The line was half of the block.
Wow.
And the love and encouragement that I got from so many people, I think I just want people to enjoy what I had a great time experiencing. And also, the story behind my shoe, which was all about Los Angeles and, the city that raised me.
Wow. That's really amazing. Congratulations. You also had another breakthrough recently. When we had spoken, you had talked about how you didn't want to just be the one making the other people look good, but you wanted to start modeling, and you actually were featured in Vogue for Brazil. Yes. Can you talk about that experience? Another surreal experience?
Another surreal experience. I was on the cover of La Oficial Brazil. So La Oficial is a really big fashion magazine, and they have one in, different countries.
Wow.
And so for Brazil, when I was in college, I used to work for Louis Vuitton, and I used to work at sales. And as a college student, I was receiving a lot of money working there. It was great, but I wasn't all the way happy. And, my mom told me, do what makes you happy, which I wanted to work at the store called RSVP Gallery. And so I ended up quitting, but it was really hard because I didn't want to leave the brand. I wanted to work there for a while, move up, see what kind of new opportunities there were. But I wasn't happy there in the moment. So my mom said, let it go. And as I started chanting, I started gaining just opportunities and so many experiences. And, one of the experiences I had was gaining a relationship again with Louis Vuitton, but this time not as someone who works for them, but someone who works with them.
Wow.
And, since I met with the representatives in Paris, they've literally just embraced me so much. And, it's always amazing just to see the brands that you love. Again, bless you. And it's so crazy because everything was just kind of introducing me to what was going to happen later. And through chanting, just achieved a magazine cover.
Wow.
My first one, it came out this past September, which is the biggest month for Fashion Month. And it's so crazy to just be in another country and you're not there, and for people to read your story. And the story is all about street chic. So ideally what my style is about, which is blending, the streetwear, something that I naturally am a part of, where it's a blend of skate culture, hip hop, the environment in which we live, and basketball, sports, blending that with high fashion, which not too many girls do in my actually girls that do it in the lane, you know, and there are young girls that are going to feel the same way. So, I mean, I'm all about, we need to start somewhere. So I'm just very, very grateful that, you know, I'm able to, you know, be at the forefront of like this change for young girls.
Congratulations. That's incredible. So you also had another surreal experience where you were in Paris and you had all these top people from Nike that came. Can you explain about the experience that you had?
Well, we had the Paris Saint-Germain collab, and I went there to celebrate that. It's actually like the first time Jordan has ever partnered with a soccer team, as well as like one of the biggest soccer teams ever. So for athletic history, this, yeah, definitely, you know, a pivotal moment on both ends. And recently, I just went to Portland and to the Nike headquarters, where also the Jordan office is, and talked more about, you know, women in Jordan brand and women dominating and, you know, in the streetwear culture and showing that you can dress up your sneakers or dress down your sneakers. And it's just all about the women empowerment movement for sure. And, you know, how are we changing that through fashion is kind of how our take on it is. Like, how can we do with it? So honestly, I'm like so many breakthroughs since I started. Because when I first started chanting, yes, I wrote down a Jordan 1, but I had no idea that the benefit was going to be way bigger than I imagined it to be. And, you know, when you're at the center doing your volunteer shifts, you know, there's a lot of older members and that tell you, like, you're going to have way more than you ever envisioned. And seeing it come to fruition and then looking back at all the SGI members that told you, you know, that you will be able to do this, just pretty much mind blown. Sometimes words can't even express, you know, like, I just have like this really big heart right now.
That's amazing. For those that are listening, can you expand on what devilish functions are? Not a lot of people know what that is. It's the internal thing, but can you explain what that is in Buddhism?
Devilish functions in Buddhism, you know, it's pretty much like we're all human, you know, it's not always going to be happiness, happiness, happiness. There are going to be times where we're going to need to fight for our own happiness and decide in that moment, you know, I can either let this defeat me or I can let this just be something that's gone in the wind and I'm going to like tackle it. So, you know, when we have our devilish functions, it's like that one thing, that one little doubt or that little voice in your head that says like, you can't do it, that is the devilish function. You know, that is that tendency that it can sway you, can sway your whole day. You know, that somebody tells you one thing and you may be swayed the whole day, you know, by it. But, you know, in that moment saying that, you know what, this is an obstacle, but actually one of my favorite quotes by Daisaku Ikeda.
Yeah, please.
Yes, when you encounter a wall, know that encountering wall is proof of the progress that you've made. And he talks about, like, rather than it discouraging you, know that there's a wide open expanse on the other side. So it's like, if we were just completely calm and collected about the situation that we're living in and, you know, we don't want to work towards anything, you won't have these devilish tendencies that come up. But when you're working for your own happiness, when you're working to strive to make yourself better, there's going to be things that are going to pop up and it's going to test you. You know, it's going to be like, do you really want to be happy or do you really want self-confidence? Let me kind of throw this at you a little bit and see if you can, like, take it. And then, like I said, in that moment, that's when you determine, like, no, you are not going to get to me today because this is something I'm working on. It's something I'm going to accomplish.
Thank you for expanding on that. If you don't mind sharing, what's the greatest challenge you've ever had and how did you overcome it through your Buddhist practice?
And I think, honestly, it would be confidence, you know. And I'm still working on it, but I feel like I'm the most confident I've ever been in my life, which is completely exciting. But, you know, it's like I was that young girl in South Central who I completely was absorbed in those tendencies of not liking myself, always comparing myself to somebody else, always wishing that I could be someone else or wishing that I had a different mission and not knowing what my mission was, you know. And when I started practicing 5 years ago, I really wanted to change that. I really just wanted to love myself, you know. It's like, I know I'm a good person, and I just want to be able to feel that. I want to be able to feel confident in my own skin. I wanted to wear certain things and feel completely like a woman, you know. I wanted others to like me, but most importantly, I wanted to like myself and just look at the mirror or mistakes that you're going to make ahead. You are still perfect, you know. That's really, confidence has really been one of my biggest things that I've been chanting for and still chanting for. And, you know, it's those days where you're by yourself, where you're just like, wow, like, I'm going to do my hair today, and I'm going to put on a nice outfit. But, you know, I feel good. And loving myself, I'm also able to have more compassion for others. And I'm able to embrace my friends or my family and, you know, say that you're beautiful too. Because it all starts from within. And when you change, your environment changes. And I would honestly say, since I've chanted, I've gained so many friends that chant and do not chant. But so many amazing friends that like help encourage me, and we're like all building together and all really trying to fight for our own happiness. And I've been able to basically tell about 8 friends about this Buddhism and how much it's changed my life, and they've all joined and are now members of the SGI. So, wow. I mean, we're definitely encouraging others, but it's also great too because you have a group of friends now that you can chant with. And you know, when I go to New York, I stay with my best friend, Sasha, and we always, you know, we'll chant morning and evening together and go to the center. So it's always, like, really fun.
That's amazing. Congratulations. So I have a few more questions and then we'll wrap up. My question to you is, what legacy will you leave behind after you've taken your last breath?
Wow. You know, I mean, my dream is to become the fashion Beyonce, so I'm not going to give up on that, okay, because I said that I was going to have a Jordan 1, and I thought it was never going to come true, so let me just throw that out there, that I can't be scared of what I want to attain. Ideally, what I mean by fashion Beyonce is, you know, how Beyonce is for music, original, you know, hardworking, you know, women empowerment, like women at the forefront and being able to accomplish their dreams. And, you know, I want to be one of those examples for women in fashion, for women in color in fashion, you know, for the SGI, and also be able to say, like, yeah, she was someone who fought for Kosen Rufu. So, yeah, that's definitely the legacy.
For those that are listening, what is Kosen Rufu?
Kosen Rufu, it's the idea of world peace. It's and starting from oneself. So in order to accomplish world peace, we need to be able to first work on ourselves, and, you know, through our own happiness, you naturally will share how you became happy with others, and it will encourage someone. It will encourage someone to also want it for themselves, and the importance of one person can go such a long way. So, which also brings me back to the reason why 50K Festival was for the youth. Yeah, Kosen Rufu is definitely one thing that I want to be known for, a fighter for Kosen Rufu.
Wow, that's really incredible. So my last question to you is, what does happiness from within mean to you?
To me, it means Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. You know, and vice versa. Nam-myoho Renge-kyo is happiness from within, and, you know, bringing that out and being able to look at the world and saying, I'm going to tackle you today, and we're going to do an amazing job at it. Happiness from within is absolute confidence. It's being able to have compassion for others, and, you know, sharing with friends and family your happiness too, because happiness is very effective, okay? And it's very contagious too. Happiness from within is you smiling on the inside, and it just creating this natural glow around you. Happiness from within is life itself, because, you know, we're constantly working toward our mission and why we're here, and, you know, achieving our greatest and highest potential. And it's like everything that you can imagine.
That's amazing. Actually, one more question that I have, because as you know, there's a lot of people out there really suffering and really struggling. We live in crazy times right now. Just anything you would like to share from your life to really encourage maybe somebody out there that wants to pursue anything. And you as an amazing, young, beautiful, like courageous woman, and showing through example of your life, like what would you say to that person listening right now?
You know, my first instinct is, look, you gotta share it from your because it's something that, like, yes, I can talk about it all day, but for you to experience it on your own, that is such an amazing thing that in words, I can't thank everyone who has taught me and, like, helped my journey into learning more about this Buddhism. I can't thank them enough, because you learn how to be undefeated. You learn how to wake up with that attitude as, you know, I can do anything, or, you know, or when you're in the dark pit of it and, you know, it hurts and you're down there, you have someone from the center that is going to reach out to you, that's your real friend, and is going to bring you out of that, and it teaches you about the community, and it's just like how it's so important that, you know, we need to have a solid foundation around us in order to accomplish anything. Wow,
that's really amazing. Well, I really want to thank you for being on my podcast. It has been such a pleasure, such an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I mean, for anything for Kosen Ruku, I am down. Yeah. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And if you can share with the audience where they can follow you.
My Instagram, Twitter, anything for social media is my name, Aleali May, Aleali May.
Okay, perfect. And I'll definitely make sure to put those details down below. And again, thank you so much. It's been such an honor. And I just wish you an awesome day.
Thank you, you too.
Take care. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, so that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me on episode 3 of Happiness from Within. It was such a pleasure to sit down with Aleali May and hear her incredible story. My goal is that you were able to take away 1 or 2 golden nuggets to start applying to your life and to start finding your own happiness from within. If you received any value, it would mean the world if you could please take 30 seconds to subscribe and leave a comment. It will help us to spread the message and give exposure to happiness from within. I'm wishing you a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Take care, guys. Catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.